Good afternoon. I'm Bruce Evanson from Suncoast Fly Tires. Actually, what I'm going to do today is tie a fly that's called a Hi-Tye. Just fly right here. You can tie it in any assortment of colors that you like, but the yellow works good. The other thing I want you to notice about it is it's another fly that we're tying on a circle hook. Easier setting than strip setting all the time, just letting your line go tight. But we're going to tie this fly today. Let me get a circle hook here. Okay, I'm sorry, I got one already in there. And we're going to tie this on the circle hook. The first thing I'm going to do is a thread wrap, which will start behind the hook eye, and it's going to work down the shaft of the hook all the way back to the bend here. Okay, and I'm going to bring my thread forward to the hook point, cut off my tag end. Now I want to take a little white bucktail, and I'm going to take this bucktail, flip it off here. And bucktail, when I use bucktail, especially on flies like this, which are just about all the flies I use bucktail for, I use the upper third of the tail. The bottom third by the butt is too hollow and it'll flare out on you all over. So if you use the hair towards the tip, you'll get much straighter hair. So this size clump now is going to get pinched off at top, and we're going to pull out all the small fibers inside. I don't want this to be thick and bushy at the back. I just want it to be long strands of white bucktail. Then I'm going to pull out the oddballs that I don't need in there. If I have any that are sticking way out, I'll do the same. Now I'm going to take and just always cut myself a nice clean edge, and I'm going to come right in here, give this 2 wraps, give myself a little wrap around the end here, around the hook shank, pinch it tight, wrap it tight. Wrap this back to where I want to start, right here. Now, as a Hi-Tye, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this in yellow. So I'm going to take my yellow and tie on consistently on the top only. We're not putting any hair on the bottom, as it says. It's a Hi-Tye, not a top and bottom tie. So I'm going to get some yellow hair here, and this typically is going to take 3 to 5 strands. So let me grab this here, take out all the excess again, and this is going to come in here, and I want to see what length it would be, which is about here. So I'm going to trim off my excess, and I'm going to bring this right to the side, wrap over it 2 times, bring it right up on top, and I'm going to tie it down right here. There we go. Now, what I do between each clump of hair is I take 1 strand of crystal flash pearl, and I'm going to put 1 strand between each clump of hair. Get those in the center. Oops, I let go. Right here with the lights all off to do this video, I have a hard time seeing. That's what happens when you get old. Okay, got it right here. Now that's 3 times. Let me try the 4th. Now got it. Okay, coming right up here on top. Couple wraps. Lay it down the center. Wrap over it. Now we're going to repeat. I'm going to take another strand of yellow. Thickness I usually take is what I would consider a wooden matchstick. When you pull it tight, it would be about like so. So do the same thing each time. Pull all the excess out. Each one of these strands is going to come a little shorter. Instead of having it as long as it is here, I'm going to pull it in just slightly, pinch it here where it's going to go, snip it off, set it right here on top. Materials where I want it. Okay, wrap it down. There's my second. Now remember what we're going to do between each clump that we tie on is we're going to add a piece of pearl crystal flash, which I've done again. So I can do this a little faster than I did the last time. Okay, right up on top, draw it down to the center, a couple wraps, bring this to the middle. All right, got my next set in there. Now come back here. I'm going to repeat. This is a step and repeat process. So, same thing. This fly was originally designed for bass, then it became very popular with striper fishers up north, and it's worked its way all the way down the coast here to be a fly that's also known as being good for the area. Like I say, I'm just paying attention to the lengths. Each one is maybe a 1/4 inch shorter than the one before. Put it on right here. There we go. And when I'm winding it up, I don't wind each one tight to the last one. I'm leaving it, if you notice, there's a space I think you can see between these as we go along. So we're going to do that repeatedly as we go. Now I need another piece of crystal flash here. Crystal flash. One doesn't seem like much, but when you're doing this 3 to 5 times, you've got plenty of flash in there when you're done. I pull it down to where it's centered, a couple wraps, I bring it straight back to back. Now I've got it where I want it. Okay, repeat the yellow again. Another little batch here. And again, always get those oddballs and excess out. Get your nice thin straight ones. The distance, we're going to go a little shorter here to here. Just right on top. Put one more flash on here and one more yellow, and we'll call it quits here in a second. Okay. Once again through here. Up on top. Couple wraps. Down the middle. Last tie of yellow. The very last one I make even just a little shorter. Instead of putting it like that, I'm probably going to bring it down a little bit so it's forward here. I'm going to wrap this up to give me a little bit of a white head here. Now, eyes, you can add big clunky eyes on it if you want. Wasn't designed that way. What we typically do for eyes is I'm going to take a black Sharpie and just put a little dot for an eye. I'm using white thread here. And I'm going to just put one dot here. One dot there for my eyes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat it with thin. This is Loon's thin product, not as heavy as the heavy stuff or near as thin as the other. And I'm going to coat over the eyes, top, across there. I'm going to bring in my light. This takes 24 seconds, 25 seconds to go, so we'll let this go a minute. Again, you can see the spacing between the flies there, which will show you we're not tying it down tight or back too far. And again, this is called a Hi-Tye. Again, it tracks very nicely because you've got hundreds of little floating hairs that are on top and a nice size 1/0 circle hook down below, so it tracks very nice in the water. It comes through very nice. Okay, got that on a second. One more step and we'll be done. I'm going to cut my thread off and I'm going to turn this over and just coat a thin coat around my thread wraps, which go all the way down here and a little bit on each side. I like to put that on just for a little protection. And we'll let that go. Give it a few seconds. Pick your favorite colors. I have done yellow has been first look I ever caught were yellow and white fly like this, so yellow is kind of a favorite for me. Also dark greens for the Bay Area seem to work very well, or green and yellow combination works just as well. All right, let me take this one off a minute. And here we have a Hi-Tye, straight on, down, and again, like I say, the circle hook. And that concludes your Hi-Tye fly, and I want to thank you very much.